handout, demanding that I pay the money that I work for. At least that's what you say. But what gives you that power? Who died and made you boss? I'm barely getting by today. I can't afford that loss. So if you don't show some legal obligation that I pay, put your hand back in your pocket, turn around and go.
Well, hello there. I'm Hartwell Broussard, and I welcome you to Help, the program with help and a request for help. The reason help is needed is because America is in distress. My goal is to help you to understand why America is in distress, and hopefully you will do something to help get us out of this dire situation that we're in. With me is Stephanie Skinner, and Stephanie and I went to a town hall meeting held by U.S. Senator David Vitter on the 5th day of July 2012. Stephanie had a question and so did I, but Senator Vitter made us write our questions down on a piece of paper before the meeting. And of course, the ones he didn't want to answer wound up in the trash can. Guess what? Stephanie's question wasn't answered, and neither was mine. My question was, is the NDAA constitutional? NDAA stands for National Defense Authorization Act. If you don't know what it means, or don't know what it really is, do some research on it. This is serious, people. Of course, like I said, Senator Vitter did not answer my question. And I don't know why, but maybe Stephanie can help us. So, welcome Stephanie to the program. Stephanie, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Broussard, for having me. I appreciate you having me. And it's an honor to be on your show, and it's an honor to talk to you, all of Acadiana, and let you know what happened at the Senator Vitter's town hall meeting. Mr. Broussard and I got to Arnaville, and it was the day after the 4th of July when a lot of people were on vacation, and it was a lunch hour. So he and I decided to go on ahead and go. Well, my question to Mr. Vitter when we got there was, it wasn't a raise your hand form. We had to write our questions down on a piece of paper. So my question was alluding to Homeland Security's documents saying that liberty lovers are classified as terrorists. Acadiana, this is extremely serious. This article was on the #1 read news page in the world. And you can look at the Homeland Security documents, and they consider us terrorists. Now, that's a terrible thing because we are full of love, Acadiana, all of us are. We're not violent people, but we love our country and we love our children. I mean, they're humanity and they're our family, and we are not terrorists. So that was a very important question to me, but it was not answered. But Acadiana, look it up because it's there. It's in Homeland Security documents. Well, to kind of put in preface what we walked into, there was a lot of people. There was a lot of people in St. Martinville. I was very, very surprised, and I do believe Senator Vitter was extremely surprised as well. So kudos to everyone who was there and who asked questions. And it was beautifully decorated with the red, white, and blue colors, and they had ferns and cake, and it was a very, very nice setup. And I had met Miss Kathy Arnaville. Both Hartwell and I did, and she was very, very nice, and everyone was extremely nice to us, St. Martin Parish, so thank you very, very much. On his agenda page, when you walk in, he had an agenda page. It was beautiful. It was on nice legal pad size stationery, and it had 3 subjects which he was going to be covering, things I guess that were close to his heart, or what he felt Louisianians needed to know and what affects us. So I'm going to go over his agenda page, and the first thing on Senator Vitter's agenda page was passing the Restore Act. So passing the Restore Act was on this page, and he said that the legislation will provide 80% of fines BP must pay. And under the Clean Water Act, BP has to pay for 80% of the fines. And he also says that the Restore Act will go a long way in addressing the impacts of the environmental and economic damage from the oil spill. Well, my question in regards to the passing the Restore Act was I wanted to ask him as well if it would have been a raise your hand forum. I would have asked in regards to this piece of legislation, what about the implications of the Corexit? What about our seafood? What about the fish mutations? Can we see them? Can we know? Just tell us what's going on. It's okay, we can handle it, but we just want to know about our whole water situation due to the horrible tragedy that happened in the Gulf that we've endured. The next thing on our senator's agenda was funding Louisiana highways. This right here, he spoke of, that includes measures to benefit Louisiana, funding our Louisiana highways. And he also mentioned that the state of Louisiana gets $680 million per year in federal highway dollars. As well, the state will get more money for our gas tax, so say, and then the state will have more flexibility to spend state transportation dollars. So funding Louisiana highways was a big piece for him that he wanted to discuss. Now, I wanted to ask in regards to the funding Louisiana highways, is Homeland Security involved in the dole out of this money? And if they are they going to install more cameras everywhere? Because the cameras have really gotten to the point of absurdity. We're good people, and it's not necessary to monitor us and all these cameras on the highways, and it's just not necessary. So I wanted to know that with this highway money, or there going to be more cameras, or going to be more into a control grid and wired up here in Louisiana, which isn't necessary because we're great loving people. And I also wanted to say in regards to the funding Louisiana highways situation that our people are eventually not going to want to travel. They're not going to want to go anywhere because the TSA, which is unconstitutional, they don't uphold an oath. They're going to have checkpoints on our roads. Acadiana, Google, the Homeland Security Viper documents. It's in regards to the TSA. They're coming to street checkpoints. It's totally illegal. It's nightmarish. So that was a big question for me. People aren't going to want to travel if we have cameras and TSA checkpoints and, families and the harassment when we're doing nothing wrong. We're living our lives and we're good people. The cameras, I don't know if that's going to be involved in funding Louisiana highways. So that's something we can all come together in Acadiana and talk to him about and press the issue very kindly. The third thing on Mr. Vitter's agenda page was the reauthorization of the flood insurance program. Now he is the top Republican overseeing this flood program. We know here in Acadiana we're below sea level in New Orleans and we're prone to floods. Well, he also says that he passed a 5-year reauthorization of the program. My question in regards to reauthorization of the flood insurance program, I would have asked in an open hand, raise your hand forum, are the insurance companies going to demand that we all put special screens or special this in our home or special this in our home and punish us for where we live? And if so, if the insurance companies in the state are going to require these things, how are people going to afford it? How are people going to afford it? Because the issues in the room at this town hall meeting, Acadiana, if you weren't there to make it, there were so many people there, and everyone's heart ached. I kept looking at Mr. Broussard. I kept looking at our fine senator. He's a good man. Yeah, it's in there. It's in there. There's things that have been done wrong, and people were just shaking their head, and you couldn't believe it. I felt a little nauseous. I felt a little sad. I felt a little heartbroken. I couldn't believe that the issues that were being discussed in this town hall meeting. I couldn't believe we were sitting there talking about such things and such issues in our country. So I've been told by a screen maker in regards to the reauthorization of the flood insurance program that eventually the state and the insurance companies are going to require us guys to buy these expensive screens to keep wood from flying in our windows in the case of a hurricane because we're prone to hurricanes. How are we going to afford it? How are people going to afford it? So now we're done with his agenda page. We're going to go on to notes that I took in the town hall meeting. which lasted about an hour and a half. Well, the first one we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about Obamacare, the new health care bill where we're going to be taxed. Illegal, unconstitutional, terrible. We're not going to have a dollar. If you earn a dollar, you're not going to have any money. With carbon taxes coming, this tax coming, the health care, I mean, the issues in the room already are surreal at this town hall meeting. And now all this on top of it, all this stuff coming down the line, it's frightening. Well, on the health care, he says that he wants to repeal and that he will repeal it if he can. He says he will replace with targeted reforms the health care. He said that this health care has stolen $500 billion out of Medicare. Everyone in Acadiana, if you're on Medicare, come to Mr. Broussard's meetings. Let's get together. We're going to get addresses. We're going to do things.
Tom Parker's meeting.
Tom Parker's too, yes. Yes, everybody, let's get together. We need to go. Every meeting, let's try, and let's try. And we can send in postcards, and we'll do what we can, because Medicare, I know a lot of people depend on Medicare. And so they're just looting. They're looting out of every pot. They're looting out of every pot. There's nothing left.
Well, that's the purpose. That is their purpose. Their purpose is to bankrupt America, to make you slave. Yes. Understand that a slave owns nothing.
Yes. Yes. Well, it was very, very heartbreaking, and he's right. He's right, Acadiana. They want to destroy America, but that's okay, because we can talk and we can walk. There's power in our voices. There's power in the pen. They say the pen's mightier than the sword. I mean, it's time we can rally this, because this is our great state, and we are such a great people here. I would not want to live anywhere else. So we're gonna get it back, but we need all of you, and just we can come together on this. I wanted to ask in regards to this, the health care. I wanted to ask him in a raise your hand forum. How is it similar to Mitt Romney's plan, the one in Massachusetts? I also would like to ask on the health care, what is going to happen to our natural vitamins and our health food? They're going to start clamping down on that, and then that's going to be given to the pharmaceutical industry. And we should be allowed to have choices, Acadiana. So the next issue that I was able to take notes on was the UN treaty is creating a buzz as far as the Second Amendment, our right to carry arms, our right to self-protection. And the NDAA, he says now the NDAA has more restrictions on it. Senator Vitter also said the hearing is before an independent judge. He said the Senate ratified treaty will vote no. And Senator Vitter also said in regards to the NDAA and the UN treaty in regards to Second Amendment that he's opposed to it. And he hopes that it's not near a vote. Well, he hopes. That's not too reassuring. That's not reassuring at all. I was like, oh my goodness, everyone was looking at each other in the town hall meeting, and there were so many people, and everybody was just, because couldn't believe the stuff we were discussing. Now, the next one is Law of the Sea Treaty. It was mentioned, I don't have many notes on this one, but it was brought up at the town hall meeting. I thought Acadiana would like to know that he says that it's going to have no impact on the United States until it is ratified. He says 66 votes will be required. The next one, this was brought up. The tax, another tax, Acadiana, the tax on real estate and health care. We need you guys. He said that it's a significant new tax. He also says that he supports a repeal. NAFTA. I was able to take a few notes on NAFTA. He says there's no magic wand. This is the North America Free Trade Agreement. And it's taken a lot of our jobs and outsourcing and, I don't know. And so he says there's no magic wand. He said it's burdensome legislation, correct, on that one. I wanted to ask him in regards to this, the North America Free Trade Agreements, why did China get Cadillac and Chevy? We just bailed them out, okay? We bailed them out under the guise with money that we don't have, and they really didn't even need to be bailed out. We don't have the money, and we bail them out under the guise that we're going to give people jobs and we're going to keep their jobs safe. Well, guess what? Is China now is the exclusive employees of our Cadillac and Chevy after our bailout. And now we're broke, and now they're coming after our dollar. Every dollar you earn is gone. And they want more and more, and looting and looting and looting and looting, and it's time to stand. We can stand up against this. They're taking our jobs away from us on purpose. Why give those jobs? Why send the Cadillac and Chevy plant? Why send them over there? Why? This was brought up, the United Nations, such joyous, hellish people. Well, the United Nations Convention on the Child, he's opposed to that. So anytime we can stay away from the UN, my opinion, that's a wonderful thing. So he's opposed to that, so I'm grateful. Here's some things that I noted in this town hall meeting that he said. And I wrote them down. And I wrote them down, Acadiana. He said that he is not a part of this system voluntarily. I thought when I was reviewing my notes, and right there on the spot when he said this, he's not a part of the system voluntarily. So if he's not there voluntarily, Acadiana, why is he there? He's hijacked.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I mean, I would not want to be this man. I would not. I would look him in the eyes. I was sitting in the front row, and I felt his pain and I felt his anguish because he's torn. He's torn between his bosses, which are evil people. Evil people, and so he's worried about his family, and he's worried, and he loves us. I know he loves us. He knows that we voted for him. He knows that we love him. He knows that we, and then he heard those issues. So he's being torn from left to right, and he doesn't know what to do. I am so happy that I am not this man. But he's not there voluntarily. He said that. And it wasn't a part, it wasn't on his repertoire, it wasn't on his agenda page. It was something that came out of his mouth, and I wrote it down furiously because that says something.
Again, he said that he wasn't there voluntarily.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In other words, someone's kind of like holding a sword to his neck.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yes, sir.
That's the way I see it.
No, I believe that, sir, because I saw pain. I saw pain in this man's eyes. I mean, I saw the pain. He's stuck. He is so stuck. But my words to you, my personal plea, is to please get your family and come home. We love you. We voted for you. Yes, you've made some mistakes. Yes, there's been treason. Yes, you voted for some wrong things. But you know what, Senator? That's okay. I've done terrible things in my life. I've done things. But people have forgiven me. Mr. Broussard's done things. We, all of you, you, all of us, we need to get behind him. No, Senator Vetter, that we are here and we will welcome you home to this state. This is your home. We will rally around you. We will forgive you. And tell us what's going on. This isn't the first time that our world's been in trouble. Tell us about Homeland Security. Tell us about the TSA. Tell us about the drones in the sky. Tell us about the leaking nuclear plants all over America. We can handle it. We're going to be okay. Just come home and let us work together as a state. We need you. We want you home. We don't want to see you suffering. I felt the warfare in the room. I feel like I know what you're going through, and you're a good man, Senator. You really, really are. And everybody, all his people, all his staff, everyone at the town hall were extremely nice to us. So I was very, very blessed. After the town hall, I felt very, very queasy because all the issues, the magnitude. This is serious, the magnitude of what is happening to us, guys. It's time we come together, and we need you home. So bring your beautiful family home, bring your family home to us, and we'll all stand together as a state. And you will be forgiven. I mean, it's okay, we've all made mistakes, but it's time to come home, because you're not happy. You're not happy, I felt it, I saw it. Another thing that Senator Vitter said was, he said that their global solution. This wasn't on his agenda page, it just came out of his mouth. Well, I don't know about you, Mr. Broussard, well, I do know that we don't want a global solution. We don't want a global solution, we want an American solution, we want a state of Louisiana solution, we want each other, this is our country.
I want what our founding fathers left us.
Yes, sir.
Going back to the Constitution.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's made mistakes. He's made mistakes. But if it were up to me, and I know all Acadianians feel this way, we're not into pitchforks. We're not into fleecing. We're not into any of these things. We're not into throwing rocks and not forgiving him. It's okay. We want you home. We want you safe with us. You're not happy. I saw it, sir. And I like you. I think you're a wonderful man. And also, Senator Vitter, he did get a couple of stand-ups from the people in Arnaville, and they stood up, and he's helped a lot of people as well. So, I mean, listen, we're not here to paint a stink on him. No, he's done some very, very nice things, helping people attain their benefits and taking his constituents' letters seriously. Not in the case of our questions, but he's stepped up to the plate. He's a good man. There's good in all of us. And there's bad in all of us. But you need to be safe, and you need to be happy. And Louisiana makes everybody happy. I mean, this is the place, huh, Mr. Bruce?
Yes.
I mean, there's no place I would rather be. And it's because all of you, and it's been a pleasure, and it's been an honor talking to you. And thank you so much, Mr. Broussard, for having me on your show.
Well, you're so welcome, and maybe we can do it again someday. One thing I'd want to mention is that you talked about some NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement. I remember of a woman asking that Senator Vitter do something to repeal NAFTA, to bring our jobs back here in America. And he said something like it would be a start.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I wanted to raise my hand up and say, well, let's get it going, man. Let's get it going. But again, you have to write your questions down on a piece of paper.
Right.
And
yes.
questions like, what is the National Defense Authorization Act concerning our Constitution? He did not want to answer that question. But he did answer someone's question about the National Defense Authorization Act. They went pretty deep into it.
Yes.
I was surprised that he really went into it in that depth.
Yes, sir. But like I said, he even with our questions put aside, or our questions being lost forever somewhere, and probably in a file in his office, since liberty lovers are considered terrorists. I mean, do he and I look like terrorists? No. You look in the mirror. Do you look like a terrorist? No. We're the nicest people in the world, this state. Well, yeah. It's just, it's a mess. It's a mess. We're in a mess, but we can do this, Katie Ann. We can come together on this.
Well, that's the way we can solve the mess. We can solve our problems by coming together, but again, we have to muster. If we don't muster, if we don't get together and do something about this one world government that is being formed, and that's what it's all about, the New World Order.
Globalization.
And maybe I can talk Stephanie into doing a program concerning the New World Order. I don't know what it'll take. I might have to twist her arm. So if you hear Stephanie hollering, if you hear Stephanie screaming, it's because I'll be twisting her arm to get her back on the health program to cover what this New World Order is all about. This is serious, people. Things are happening, and most people are in the dark and don't know. If you know, I truly appreciate you knowing. But please understand that knowing what's going on and doing nothing with what you know does no good at all. So please, if you're not informed, get informed and help others to become informed. Knowledge is power, and there's power in numbers. Stephanie, I thank you so much for being on the program.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Mr. Broussard, for having me. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. And thank you. We hope to see you. We need you. Let's all come together. I would like to get to know you as well as Mr. Broussard. Thank you.
And now it's time for me to say, may all your sunsets set right, and may the good Lord bless you both day and night.
Yeah, your income tax extortion plot